So, the Super Mario Brothers movie is on track to join the billion-dollar box office club here, according to The Hollywood Reporter. And I actually agree with their assessment, given the fact that it had a very low second weekend drop-off. Just to put this into perspective, an average second weekend drop-off for a movie is 40%. The Super Mario Brothers movie only had a 37% second weekend drop-off. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania had something like a drop-off of 69.1%, if I'm remembering correctly, which now leads me to wonder, why the critics really hated the Super Mario Brothers movie. And I saw this coming from Deadline, the biggest box office bombs of 2022, Deadline's most valuable blockbuster tournament, published on April 14th of 2023. And there's 5 total movies that they are listing as the biggest box office bombs of 2022. And guess what? Disney holds 3 of them. We have Strange World, Amsterdam, that was with Gal Gadot, I think Adrian Brody. No, not Gal Gadot. I'm sorry. Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, John David Washington. I don't know where I got Gal Gadot from. I was just talking out of my ass there, if you couldn't tell. The final movie was Lightyear, but let's only focus on the 2 animated movies. That would be Strange World and Lightyear. Right, so Strange World, according to Deadline, had a total loss of $197.4 million. I remember when a Variety article came out and they said that Strange World was set to lose $100 million. Well, if you listen to Deadline, it lost nearly twice as much as that. It's not enough to say that original animation is a challenge at the box office when it comes to Strange World's failure. The movie started on a family of explorers, the Clades, as they attempt to navigate an uncharted, treacherous land alongside a motley crew that includes a mischievous blob, a 3-legged dog, and a slew of ravenous creatures. So yes, even the dog was disabled in the movie. Why they felt the need to make a 3-legged dog, I don't know. Some might say Disney's embrace of a gay character in the film turned off red state audiences, while critics found the fantasy pick to be clunky and incomprehensible, and the animation retro and stale. Disney nonetheless supported the movie with a full theatrical release and dated it during their traditional 5-day Thanksgiving launchpad, where it saw a record low start for a Disney animation title during that frame with $18.8 million. Disney knew the goods were soured and had Strange World on Disney Plus a month later, by December 23rd. Disney has done better in their first go-arounds with original IP in Wreck-It Ralph and Zootopia. Wreck-It Ralph was not an original IP. That was actually based on a classic video game. However, one thing is clear: post-pandemic, it is getting whipped at the box office by Illumination with Minions: Rise of Gru and the Super Mario Brothers movie, and that is just sad. But what I say about Strange World, I forgot to pull this up because I am an idiot. Forgot to pull up the Rotten Tomatoes score for Strange World, but yeah, everybody was dunking on Strange World. Let's see what it was. It still holds a critics score of 72%, with the critics' consensus being, quote, Strange World is a Disney milestone in terms of representation, but as a storytelling experience, this dazzling animated adventure offers little audiences haven't already seen. So the only thing that they're praising is in terms of representation and not having to do anything about the movie itself. Well, when Disney goes so far as to add in a 3-legged dog, that's pretty much stretching, right? So you have Strange World that lost nearly $200 million. Now let's go down to Lightyear, with Deadline reporting that total loss of $106 million. One would think an extension of the Toy Story franchise, a spin-off about Buzz Lightyear, would be a surefire win. But devoted fans weren't thrilled that Tim Allen wasn't doing the voiceover. Chris Evans took over. Not to mention their issues with the movie taking liberties with Toy Story canon. The $50.5 million domestic start wasn't going to get Lightyear to the moon at the summer box office. Also potentially impacting grosses, former moviegoers getting too comfortable with seeing Pixar movies at home on Disney Plus after Soul and Turning Red were sent straight to the service. Per CEO Bob Iger, Disney is returning to the regular Toy Story franchise with a fifth wheel. With an A- cinema score, Lightyear has the lowest grade to date for a Toy Story movie. Critical reception fell from the typical 90% plus on Rotten Tomatoes to 74% on Lightyear. And here's the part that they are ignoring with Lightyear. I love that they're not mentioning the same-sex kiss scene in Lightyear that got the movie banned in 14 countries. And even Chris Evans coming out, this is from the New York Post, Chris Evans calls critics of Lightyear same-sex kiss idiots. I almost said kids. Lightyear star Chris Evans has slammed critics of a same-sex kiss in his new movie, calling them idiots. The remarks from Evans, whose brother actor Scott Evans is gay, comes after the flick was banned in 14 countries due to a kiss shared between two female characters, according to The Independent. Quote, "The real truth is, those people were idiots," stated Evans, 41, during an interview with Reuters that was released Tuesday. Quote, "Every time there's been a social advancement as we wake up, the American story, the human story, is one of constant social awakening and growth. That's what makes us good," he added. The controversy stems from a character named Hawthorne, played by Uzo Abuda, who kisses her wife in a brief scene that depicts milestones in the character's life. Quote, "There's always going to be people who are afraid and unaware and trying to hold on to what was before, but those people die off like dinosaurs," continued Evans. "I think the goal is to pay them no mind, march forward, and embrace the growth that makes us human." Right, so why am I bringing this up? You know, and why do the critics actually hate the Super Mario Brothers movie? Because the Super Mario Brothers movie lacks all of that. Now we could make a legitimate argument about fan service and how fan service can truly go both ways here. It can either be a net positive or it could be a net negative. It can actually take away from the overall movie. Because if you are a parent and you don't want to have that, and you don't want to have the conversation with your kid, you're not going to show them the movie Strange World because you don't want to have the conversation, especially given the fact that there is a gay romance in Strange World, and it's not like they hid it. It was actually in the press for the movie that there was going to be a gay teen romance. And then you add in the same-sex kiss scene that's in Lightyear. Once again, if you're a parent and you don't want to have the conversation, Lightyear is an automatic no. Your kid is not watching it. Same with Turning Red. Once again, if you don't want to have the conversation, you're not going to show your kid Turning Red. But what are parents going to show their kid? The Super Mario Brothers movie, Minions: Rise of Gru, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. You see where I'm going with this, right? So why is it that the critics hate the Super Mario Brothers movie? Because it didn't pander to critics in the same way that Lightyear and Strange World did with regards to the quote-unquote representation. Like, we should really be pushing this onto children. And I'll go ahead and I'll end off with this, because there was a great comment on this Deadline article. And the comment reads as follows: "Disney Animation started to take itself too seriously. Some of the new movies bore the kids. Those stupid Minions and new Mario movie are more enjoyable for the smaller kids. I don't watch cartoons of any kind, so I just rate by what the kids want to watch again." And they have a good point. And this is a very good point. Disney stopped focusing on just making fun family movies and started to, want to win all of the accolades and the Oscars and get all of this critical praise. But critical praise does not always translate into box office success, as we can see from Strange World losing nearly $200 million and Lightyear losing $106 million, despite getting all of this critical praise. Let's see how much Lightyear got on Rotten Tomatoes here. Here we go, 74%, and it is certified fresh. The criticism of Lightyear says, quote, "Lightyear settles for being a rather conventional origin story instead of reaching for the stars, but this gorgeously animated adventure aptly accomplishes its mission of straightforward fun." But once again, if you're a parent and you don't want to have the conversation with your 5-year-old about that same-sex kiss scene, or the gay teen romance in Strange World, it's going to be an automatic no. The 5-year-old is not going to be allowed to watch it. But guess what the parents will turn on for the 5-year-old? Minions Rise of Gru or the Super Mario Brothers movie. And guys, we're going to go ahead and end this week's TMRP on this. I think this is a great spot to end it. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm terrible at ending this podcast series. So I will just see you guys next time.